What's good, boys? Welcome back to Football Discussions, and today we're coming at you with another video, and we're going to be grading the first round picks for each team of the 2021 NFL Draft. Getting ready for day 2 tonight should be a lot of fun. Just posted my reaction to the Patrick Surtain draft. Or draft selection by the Broncos as a Broncos fan. You can see the sweatshirt if you want to check that out. But regardless, I'm just going to be using NFL Network's grading system. It's like a fan ballot, but I think this is like the easiest way to do it without having to create graphics for myself because I'm lazy. But regardless, let's get right into it. And starting with the Jaguars, obviously this is an A, right? Trevor Lawrence, very, very good prospect, a very, very good player, and I think that he's the safest pick in this class. You can't go wrong with Trevor Lawrence. I've said this for a very long time. I think he's going to come in and be a top 15 quarterback right away, and while, in my opinion, he doesn't have necessarily the ceiling that Zach Wilson has, his floor is 100 times higher than Zach Wilson, so a very, very good player. Great prospect and a great selection by the Jaguars. And if you can't tell, I'm a huge Zach Wilson fan, and I'm giving this one an A as well. I know there's a lot of questions around Zach Wilson, and I know talking to my friends today, even at school after the draft, everyone was like, Zach Wilson's going to be a bust, and it might be because I live in the New York area and everyone loves to shit on the Jets, but I really do believe the Jets are heading in the right direction. And when you have a Shanahan disciple coaching the offense next year in New York, and you think of like the dream quarterback in a Shanahan offense, I'd say it's either Trey Lance or Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, a perfect player for this offense. I think he's going to succeed really, really greatly. And the Jets also got him some protection. That left side of the offensive line in New York is really good. You got Mekhi Becton, AVT, which we'll get to the grade in that pick in a minute, and Connor McGovern at center. I think you're developing a pretty decent offensive line over there in New York. Just have to fix the right side a bit. But regardless, it is an A for me. One of my favorite players in the class, Zach Wilson, to the Jets. Up next, we got the San Francisco 49ers, and they took Trey Lance. And another one that I'm giving an A, right? I think that the whole time I thought it was Mac Jones up until yesterday. Then the whole narrative started to change, and I think this is the right pick. Trey Lance is a really, really good quarterback, and I think now they hang on to Jimmy Garoppolo. Let Trey Lance sit for a year. He's a really, really talented guy. The ceiling is the roof, Jada Jordan, when you talk about Trey Lance, but I mean, the floor is pretty low right now, and it's not even that low, but only playing 13 games in a non-competitive conference and a non-competitive even league of football as they're in the FCS is a little concerning, and I think those are the red flags you point at, but all the tools are there. The arm strength is there, the processing is there, he's up there mentally, and the athleticism is there. So you really have to only focus on that accuracy. I think that's the one thing you have to change. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him start at some point next year. He's a really, really good football player, and I really like the pick by the 49ers. If I hit vote, let's see. Yeah, so we can kind of see where most of the country lies. So I actually want to see where most people think of Zach Wilson. So most people have that as a B, and then I'm sure everyone has Trevor Lawrence as an A. Yeah. So that's actually interesting. We'll do that for each pick. I don't know what this ad's doing. We're going to kind of fight through that. But regardless, let's get to the 4th overall pick, which belonged to the Atlanta Falcons. And they took Kyle Pitts. And this is another A. He's my number 1 player in the draft. I mean, he's an absolute mismatch for anyone, including cornerbacks with his size. I've seen him compared to Mike Evans. I think that's fair. I've seen him compared to Darren Waller. I think that's fair. I think he's also just kind of his own player and someone unique that we've really never seen before. I'm giving this an A, and you can see most of the nation agrees with me. Kyle Pitts, an A, to the Atlanta Falcons, a really, really good football player. At 5, I wish there was an A- rating because I love Jamar Chase and he's a top 10 player in this class. I don't have my big board right next to me, but I genuinely think he's one of the best players in this class. He's a really, really good football player. But for the Bengals, I genuinely still don't believe it was the right pick to pass on Penei Sewell. I think he was the right fit in Cincinnati, but they did elect to go Jamar Chase. I'm going to give it a B. I think Penei Sewell should have been the pick. I know it's hard to pass up on the reuniting of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I still really like the pick, and if I could, I would give it an A-. I just can't give it an A based off this grading system in good conscience because I think Penei Sewell should have been the pick. I had it mocked as Jamar Chase. I knew they were going to take Jamar Chase, but still, I still think that you had to go Penei Sewell there if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. At 6, the Miami Dolphins took Jaylen Waddle, and I like the pick. I'm giving it an A. I think I had him as my sixth overall prospect. You could argue that Devontae Smith's the better player, but with the size concerns, I understand the selection by Miami. Jaylen Waddle's a dynamic playmaker. He's going to create separation no matter what. A fantastic player for the Miami Dolphins, and I'm going to give Jaylen Waddle the A for Miami. I really like the pick. Now you have speed all over that offense, whether it's Will Fuller or Jaylen Waddle taking the top off the defense. You have Tua, who can hopefully develop in his second year with these guys creating great separation for themselves and making Tua's life a lot easier in Will Fuller and Jaylen Waddle. I think it's a really, really good offense you're developing, and Miami killed this draft, in my opinion. At 7, this is another A. I know I'm giving out a lot of A's, but I think you kind of have to give it to them, right? So Penei Sewell, one of the best players in this class, the best tackle in this class, and a guy that's been regarded as a generational talent before. Goes to Detroit. Yes, Detroit has other needs. I think they'll address wide receiver tonight. They're in a good spot to maybe select Elijah Moore tonight or a Rondale Moore tonight. I know they need more of an X, so Terrace Marshall could be in play as well. But regardless, I really like the selection. You just traded for Jared Goff. I'm guessing who you view as your future because you passed on Justin Fields at 7, and you elect to go Penei Sewell. I like the pick a lot. He's a really, really good player. So protect Jared Goff is the name of the game for the Lions. I'm sure they'll invest in some weapons for him next year or tonight in this round, in the second round. But again, I like the pick of Penei Sewell. At 8, the Carolina Panthers went with J.C. Horn, and I'm giving this an A. Horn was my best player in the class, best corner in the class. Obviously, Surtain has the higher floor, but with Horn's athleticism, his length, his press man ability, I think he's a really, really fun player. And J.C. Horn, again, not the best day one defensive starter. In fact, I would say Surtain is the best day one defensive starter in this class, including Micah Parsons, because Micah Parsons needs to develop into a pass coverage linebacker in order to succeed in the NFL, and he has a great chance of doing that with his athleticism. But I think Patrick Surtain was the best day one starter, but J.C. Horn over time can be the best corner out of anyone on the Panthers roster and out of anyone in the league potentially. He's that athletic. He's got that length that you need. Sure, there are some concerns game-wise where he kind of fell behind a bit, and whether it's holding or pass interference. I know that's been vocalized by some GMs, but I still think J.C. Horn is a really, really good football player. Again, my number one corner, just because of that ceiling being so high. So I really like the pick for the Carolina Panthers. At 9, I'm a Broncos fan. If you want to see my full reaction, it's up on the channel. But I'm giving it a B, and it's because of the fact that I'm tired of mediocrity. I go into it in depth on the channel, but I don't understand how you play for 9-8 next year by taking Patrick Surtain and making your defense ridiculously good, right? The Broncos' defense is going to be fantastic next year. Again, this is the best day one starter defensively in this draft class. He's going to come in and produce immediately for the Denver Broncos. But I don't understand how you can invest in going 9-8 next year. You lose Teddy Bridgewater, you're stuck with Drew Lock after next year, and then you start to go back down to 6-11 or back down to 7-10, right? So for the future, I don't think it's a good pick. Sure, the Broncos might make a playoff push this year with a smart and good decent enough quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, someone that's not going to turn the football over as much as Drew Lock. But still, for the future, I don't think it was the best pick for the Broncos. It's graded as an A throughout most of the draft community, which is kind of nice to see as a Broncos fan. But again, with Justin Fields being on the board, man, I don't understand how you don't take that pick. At 10. The Philadelphia Eagles traded up and selected Devontae Smith. I'm giving it an A. They finally did it. They knew they had to trade up and get their wide receiver of the future. They finally hit on the wide receiver pick, right? Devontae Smith to the Philadelphia Eagles. Love the pick. I had him ranked as, I think, the 5th overall. I think I had Jamar at 4. Smith at 5, and Waddle at 6. So second best wide receiver in this class, a really, really good player, someone that I think is going to be good in the NFL regardless of his size. So I like the pick of Devontae Smith to the Eagles, and I like the trade up. I like kind of fucking over the Giants there, even though the Giants had themselves a draft getting 2 first-round picks for the next pick in Justin Fields, but we'll get to that in a second. I still like the pick for Eagles. It's a really, really smart pick. I've never given out this many A's before. Usually I'm more critical, but I think a lot of teams got it right in this draft, including the Chicago Bears, who also deserve the A, right? They gave up a haul here. They traded a lot of picks for Justin Fields. But when you're the Chicago Bears and you've been so bad in the quarterback position for so long. You have, in your history of your franchise, never had a 4,000-yard passer. You have to get this pick right. And it reminds me, and I know it's already been compared, to when the Texans watched Mitch Trubisky go at 2, and then at 12, we're like, hey, Deshaun Watson's still on the board. We're fucking trading up, and we're getting our quarterback of the future. Is what the Chicago Bears just did. They got their quarterback of the future. Andy Dalton is a serviceable quarterback that can allow Justin Fields to sit until he's ready in the NFL. Do I like Matt Nagy as his coach and his mentor in this league? Absolutely not. I think it's not the best coaching staff he could have gone to, but I still like the pick by the Chicago Bears. They finally got it right. He's a really, really good quarterback and a really good fit in Chicago with those guys like Aaron Robinson, Darnell Mooney. I think you just have to address, getting a new play caller in Chicago first, and then we can really call him the best fit for the Bears. But Justin Fields, I love the pick by Chicago. Here, I'm also giving that an A. Micah Parsons is my second best defensive player in the class. Third best defensive player in the class, right behind Horn, Surtain, right behind Horn and Surtain. Parsons is a really, really good football player. Again, it's that coverage ability right now that was lacking, and I think it showed up on tape a lot, but everyone loves his athleticism, and in the NFL, when you're that athletic, when you're running 4.3 speed at, let's see if they list his weight. Oh boy, I didn't mean to click off of him completely. 246 pounds. When you're running a 4.38 at 246 pounds, you're going to be dominant in the league, right? Sorry, I'm just going to go back here. You're going to be dominant in the league, and you're going to develop into a good coverage backer. I'm giving it an A. I think he's a really good pick. He was the best prospect available, so I think the Cowboys hit it out of the park here. They had to address defense. A lot of people saw them going secondary. That wasn't really an option for them here. They could have gone Rashawn Slater, but I do like the Parsons pick by Dallas. At 13, this is another A. I hate to keep doing this and being redundant, but it was, again, a lot of teams hit it out of the park here. Yeah, I thought this was a great draft pick. Rashawn Slater was a guy that the Chargers might have had to trade up for in a lot of mock drafts. He fell right into their lap at 13. It's a fantastic pick. You get the protection for Justin Herbert that I think the Bengals should have gotten for Joe Burrow, and you get him more time in the pocket. You get him a guy that will protect him and allow him to not get hurt, much like Joe Burrow did last year. I think it's a really smart investment for the Los Angeles Chargers and a really good pick for them at 13. And at 14, I'm giving that another A. It's a fantastic pick. Elijah Vera Tucker is one of the best players in this class. I had him as a top 15 player in this class. This is right around the range I thought he should go. And yes, he is a guard, but he's also a tackle, and he is a damn good offensive guard. He's the best interior offensive lineman in this class, and it's not even close. That's why you didn't see any other interior offensive lineman even touch the first round, except for Elijah Vera Tucker. You can plug him right in at left guard. You have Mekhi Becton at left tackle and Connor McGovern at center. You're building a nice offensive line for your future franchise quarterback in Zach Wilson. I think it's a great pick for the New York Jets, and I really, really like this one out of Joe Douglas in New York. At 15, I'm giving it a B. Do I think it was the best prospect? Ooh, I don't want to keep giving out A's. This is the context I'm trying to think through my head right now. Mac Jones was my 25th overall player, so technically it's a reach. But was there a player better for New England that they could have drafted? No, right? The corners weren't there. There's talks about them trading Gilmore. They might want to develop or draft some cornerback depth to go alongside guys like J.C. Jackson or Josh Jones, I believe, is their other cornerback in New England. And then there was also, Micah Parsons was off the board. Are they going to take a Jeremiah Owusu-Karamoah guy here? The top 3 receivers were off the board. Are they going to take a wide receiver? No. So I am going to give it an A because for the Patriots, I think it's the best pick. And this is a guy that I think is talented, right? Is he as good as Trey Lance? Should he have ever been in the conversation for 3? In my opinion, no. But he is a really good quarterback. He's not going to turn the football over. He's deadly accurate. He's got a great processor upstairs, a really, really smart guy. And again, he's just the safe quarterback pick. I think he might even be the day one starter for the New England Patriots. He might start over Cam Newton. I think he's that NFL ready. He's coming from a pro system in Alabama. It's a really, really good fit. The Saban-Belichick relationship will help him grow in the NFL. I really like the pick, and I am going to give it an A. I know I'm being easy on these teams, but I will give it a B here to the Arizona Cardinals. I like Zaven Collins a lot. I think he's one of the most versatile players in this draft class. You can play him at edge. You can play him at linebacker. He's an every down linebacker that can do a bunch of different stuff for your defense. I have two problems with this. The Cardinals needed to address secondary. I think that was their biggest need. And with both Greg Newsome and Caleb Farley being on the board at this point, I would have liked to see them go with one of those picks. The other problem is you had Hassan Reddick on your defense for 4 years. You did not know how to use Hassan Reddick for 3.5. This year you put him at the edge rusher position where he was best fit instead of playing off-the-ball linebacker, and he became a very good player that got a contract elsewhere in Carolina. You had Isaiah Simmons last year. A lot of people like to point out that Isaiah Simmons, wasn't as good as everyone thought, was a bad football player. No, the Cardinals just misused him completely. So with a unicorn like Zaven Collins that you can put anywhere on the field, it concerns me that the Cardinals are going to do the same thing that we've seen them do with Hassan Reddick and Isaiah Simmons so far in his career and misuse him, and he will go down as a bad draft pick. So I like the player. I don't like the pick for the Cardinals. I think secondary would have been the better choice, and I think that they aren't going to know how to use Zaven Collins. This one's a D for the Raiders. It is a D. It was a horrible pick. I like Leatherwood. He has an extremely high floor, but his ceiling might be the lowest out of a lot of players in this class that are going to go on day 1 and day 2. I had him projected as a day 2 pick, maybe late second round, early third round. Again, the floor is there, but you're not going to get much out of after what you see out of him at Alabama. I think that's right around his ceiling. He's kind of already hit that point. Again, he's played for 4 years at Bama. He's proven to be a good tackle. I still don't think he was worth the first-round pick. I think Darrisaw on the board there made it obvious to the Raiders that if you were going to take a lineman, you go Darrisaw with his frame and his ability to pass block, one of the best pure pass blocking offensive tackles in this class. I still don't understand how they pass on him. I could even see them going Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. I would have given it an A. Jamin Davis, I would have given it an A. I don't like the Leatherwood pick at all, and the Raiders continuously do this. And if you're all in on Alex Leatherwood, let's say Mike Mayock sitting there hey, this is the guy we want. We really think we can get him, and he'll be great for our offense. Trade the fuck down. Trade down. Because no one else in football was going to take Clelin Ferrell at 4. No one else in football was going to take Damon Arnett at 20. No one else in football was going to take Alex Leatherwood at 17. So if you're going to continuously make these outlandish picks, at least trade down and get some value for these players. Because right now, it seems like Mayock's on the hot seat and probably won't be there in Las Vegas for much longer if he continuously makes these draft picks. At 18, the Miami Dolphins took Jaylen Phillips, top 15 player of the class. Tremendous pick, great value, best edge rusher in the class. Love it for the Miami Dolphins. Really nothing else to say. Fills the need. Was one of the best players available. I like it a lot. Again, Jamin Davis, this is an A. 14th best player in the class, in my opinion. He's one of the most underrated prospects in the class. When you have a linebacker running 4.37 that tackles as consistently as Jamin Davis, has the coverage tools like Jamin Davis, I think it's a home run pick for the Washington football team. I'm sure they would have loved to get one of the top 5 quarterbacks, but the fact of the matter was they're not there. They could be a candidate to go Davis Mills or Kellen Mond tonight. Jamin Davis at 19 is great value. He's a fantastic pick, and I like it a lot for the Washington football team. At 20, this is a B. I'm a huge Elijah Moore guy. He's a top 10 prospect in the entire draft, in my opinion. But I like the thought process of the New York Giants. They're in there thinking to themselves, we got Galladay. He's a great contested catch guy, right? He can go up and track the football. He can't create separation. We got Darius Slayton. He's proven to be a good third option, still really can't create separation. We have Sterling Shepard. He's out of his prime. He's a slot guy, and even in the slot, he struggles to create separation. We need a guy that Daniel Jones can continuously find open on the field, and that is Kadarius Toney, right? Kadarius Toney has elite speed, is a underrated route runner, does not drop the football, and finds open space on the field where Daniel Jones can throw him the football and not have to worry about throwing it to a contested guy or trying to throw it that accurately where you can fit it in a tight window, right? Because Kadarius Toney will be open, and you can use him out of the backfield as a rusher, right? He's got that Deebo Samuel type of skill in that sense, and he's a really, really good football player, a really talented football player. Again, Elijah Moore should have been the pick. I still think with Darrisaw there, even though he's a pure left tackle, actually, I would lean away from Darrisaw, but you could even have gone edge with Azeez Ojulari still being there, even though he fell to the second round, right? So I think there was better options available for the Giants, but I'm not giving it a C because I like what they were thinking. Kadarius Toney is a good pick. He's a guy that can do it all for New York. I really like the pick. But again, there was better options available, and with Elijah Moore on the board, I don't understand how you pass him. Same thing here. I'm giving this a C for the Colts. I like the thought process of, hey, Justin Houston's no longer with us. We need an edge rusher. I'm just genuinely low on Kwity Paye. He is an athlete. He can stop the run consistently, and he can be a day one impact starter in the run game. He has shown nothing on tape to prove that he is going to be a good pass rusher in the NFL. What he has shown is that he is a Jadeveon Clowney type player that is going to be consistently good at getting in the backfield and affecting the run game. But when you're talking about the modern day NFL, you need pass rushers at edge. You need guys that can get after the quarterback. To me, that is Azeez Ojulari. Also, you need another wide receiver if you're in Indianapolis, or a left tackle. Christian Darrisaw on the board, Elijah Moore on the board. They don't elect to go in that direction. So that's why I'm giving it a C. I like the thought process of an edge rusher to Indianapolis, but I don't like the pick of Kwity Paye to Indianapolis. This is a B because of the risk. It should be an A. I think Farley is technically a top 15 player in the class, if not a top 10 player in the class. Tremendous ability at the cornerback position. Might have been one of the most clean-cut corners I've ever seen on tape. However, with the back surgery, it does provide a huge risk, and Tennessee is not in a position when it comes to the defensive side of the ball to take a risk. They need a day one starter at cornerback that they can rely on day in and day out. If this works out for Tennessee, it's a home run pick. This will be the best pick in the class, a steal of a pick. But again, I don't like the risk that they took. I would have preferred them to take a Greg Newsome, let in other teams swing on Caleb Farley. I know Greg Newsome has had his fair share of injuries, but he's not as in a bad situation as Caleb Farley is currently in. So that's my thought process there. Again, this could be a home run pick if the reward pays out, but the risk is also huge. At 23, we saw the Minnesota Vikings go. Christian Darrisaw, this is an A. They killed the draft. They traded back, got more value, and took the guy they would have taken at 14. A very good left tackle. I said he's a clean-cut prospect. I like the pick a lot for the Vikings. They killed this draft. At 24, this is a B for me. I'd never agree with taking a running back in the first round, and the Steelers have a plethora of other needs. Offensive tackle, cornerback, edge, are all more prominent, or center, even Landon Dickerson is on the board. All of these are more prominent needs than Najee Harris. So that's why I'm giving it a B. He's still the best running back in the class. I still like the pick a lot, but I'm not going to take on a running back when I have all these other needs if I am Pittsburgh. At 25, I'm giving this I'll give this a C. It's borderline D. You have James Robinson, and I don't mind taking a running back in this class. But you have James Robinson. You need a safety. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is on the board. Trayvon Moehrig is on the board, right? And I understand that they're picking at 33, and they thought Travis Etienne would go in front of them, and they're still in a position to take one of those guys. And now I'm making myself sound stupid. I'm regrading this as a B. No, this is not what I wanted. What the hell is going on? Sorry, folks. Let me just get right back to it. Where were we? Here we go. All right. Forget what I just said. It's a B. It is a B. I'm kind of all over the place in this video. This is a B for the Jacksonville Jaguars because of the fact that they knew the Bills were going to be in play for Travis Etienne, and they didn't want to risk it. I kind of like the move of taking him now because now you're in a position to get Trayvon Moehrig still and get a guy like Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah still, so I'll bite my tongue. Great pick for the Jaguars. Again, James Robinson is there, which is why it's not an A. And also, again, I never agree with taking a running back in the first round, but they saw how the rest of the draft was going to go. Didn't really think too much about that one, so I'm sorry for my initial reaction. But all in all, I'm giving it a B. Sorry, that one was kind of all over the place. This is an A. I love Greg Newsome. He's got terrific length. The Browns were talking about trading up for him. The Saints were talking about trading up for him. They didn't. And the Browns didn't, and he fell right into their lap. This is a great player. This is a top 20 player in the class, and they got him at 26. I think it's a great pick. At 27, this is an A. Ravens hit it out of the park on this one. You get the guy that is your new X, the guy that Lamar Jackson can rely on to consistently catch the ball, have a big catch radius. He doesn't have to throw it accurate. I love the pick, and I think it's a perfect fit in Baltimore. For the Saints, I'm giving this an F. I would have never taken Peyton Turner in the first round. I don't like the pick at all. He's not a first-round talent. I don't think he deserves to be even close to the first round, so I hate the pick for the Saints. At 29, we'll get into the Packers later, but I'm gonna give this a B. I like getting the corner. Do I have corners higher than Eric Stokes on my board? I certainly do. Is wide receiver a need? Yes, but people were making it out to be like that. Wide receiver was far bigger need than corner. It's really not. The Packers need a boundary corner, and Eric Stokes has great physicality and athleticism on the boundary. I still think it's a great pickup for the Green Bay Packers. So it's a B. It's not an A because, again, he wasn't the best corner available in my opinion, but I like the positional pick by the Packers. At 30, I'm giving this a B as well. Actually, I'll give this a C. And here's why. I like Rousseau. He's a good player. But I also think that Azeez Ojulari is a better player. I think you could argue Joseph Osai is a better player off the edge, right? Jason Owe even, I would say, is better than Greg Rousseau. So I like the position that they filled. I don't like the pick for the Bills. And he could be really good, right? He's young. He has only 1 year of playing time. That's mostly the reason that I don't like Greg Rousseau here. I think they should have gone with a guy with more experience, but, a really good player and someone that I think, fits the Bills' mold of their defense. At 31, I am going with an A here, or I'll do a B. Jason Owe is a B. Mainly because it's kind of like the same thing. It's a risk, right? You're taking a guy that has a huge upside, but could also potentially be the downfall of your first round if you're the Baltimore Ravens. He didn't have a sack last year in college football. It is a concern, but he has the athleticism. All the tools are there. And if there is a team that can bring this guy along, it is Baltimore. So I like the player a lot. He's a first-round player, in my opinion. Again, with Azeez on the board, I think you go him. But it seemed like they wanted to go with the best ceiling player rather than the best floor player. And to wrap it up, I like this pick. It's an investment in the future. I'm giving it a B as well. Again, Azeez being here, I think you have to take Azeez. But they go Joe Tyron. It's not a horrible pick, but it's not a great pick either. I think that it fills a future need for the Buccaneers, and they're really playing for the future right now. They're going to be competitive next year. They're going to be going for the Super Bowl next year. So I don't mind the pick at all. But again, Azeez being here, I think you take him. All right, guys, that was kind of all over the place, that video, especially there at the end. I just got a text from my friend that said Patrick Surtain. I was wondering if the Broncos traded him for Aaron Rodgers, but no. Okay, regardless. This has been a wild video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more draft content, please subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, please leave a like. Sorry for being a bit chaotic in this video. And sorry to Jaguars fans for that ETN instant grade. It was better than that. But regardless, take it easy, guys. Hope you all are staying safe and healthy. Peace.